Hello, Doodlebugs. You are my favorite second grade history students ever, and I wanted to get this recording completed so that we could join together tomorrow morning for class and have some geographical fun. When might your family need a map? I want you to be thinking about that and be ready to write some answers in the chat box. Now, what I did is I brought some examples of maps to class. This one is very interesting over here. This is actually Miss Gina's neighborhood. And if you look at my neighborhood, I went on Google Earth. And if you can, get your learning coach to go with you to Google Earth. And you can type in an address and it will give you a picture. If you use Google Earth, you can find your own house from a satellite up in space. If you look at that, I had to make it tiny so you could see it. But if you see that little red place right there, that is Miss Gina's house. And it sure is. This is how my neighborhood is. There's an entrance right there. And this is a big farm, a big field. It was cotton field, and they just cut the cotton yesterday. So anyway, you turn in my subdivision, and I'm in the very front on the corner right there. So you can find your own house. It's really, really neat. And you can see all the land back here where people haven't built houses yet. Another place that you might need a map, you might need a map of the state of Louisiana. Miss Gina has one on her desk. I look to see where you live when I talk to you to give me an idea, because I have toured the state of Louisiana quite a bit. But sometimes I forget some of the names of small towns, and I want to see where you are compared to where I am in Alabama. This is a really cool map. You can't see it because it's tiny, but it's a map of Disney World. And what better way to learn how to use your mapping skills than to go to Disney World? How cool is that? This weekend I went to the Audubon Zoo with a bunch of teenagers, and we had a map of the zoo so that we could locate different places at the zoo. The funny thing was, I know that zoo so well because I love it so much that I just didn't even need a map. This is another really cool map, and this map actually is from an older class, a former class that I had pulled, and I put in all their email, their addresses into a tool online, and it plotted where they lived in Louisiana, and I thought that was really, really cool to see where all of my students live. Thought it was a lot of fun. So those are all interesting maps, and remember, be ready to write in the chat box when you get to class when your family may need a map. Why are we talking about maps? Because we're going to describe the basic characteristics of maps and globes and why they're important in our lives. These are Louisiana state standards. You need those mapping skills. We have them in the history lesson, and we're going to cover them a little bit more thoroughly today. Second grade history. What is a map? A map is a tool that shows details about an area. Now again, that could be an amusement park. That could be a particular building that you go and visit, like a museum. That could be a state, from state to state. Lots of people use navigation systems these days, and they have electronic maps that tell you how to get from place to place. Used to, when I was growing up, we had paper maps. All right, what is a map? What's on a map? Maps have lots of information, but you need to know how to read them. There are several parts to a map which explain details and help you really see where you are and where you're going. And that's always very important, especially if you're on a trip, like many of you will be traveling soon for the Thanksgiving holiday. Now, on maps, we have map keys or map legend. They can be called both. Now, maps often have, these are symbols that represent features like highways, small roads, campgrounds, and rest areas. These symbols are listed in the map key or the map legend. That's what we call them. For example, on this map that I snipped this from, this symbol right here was of water. This was a path. This was a playground. This was the symbol for a restroom. This was the symbol for the carousel, and this was the symbol for food tents. So this could have been an outdoor park or maybe an event at a park, something like that. But the map legend tells you what symbols on the map look like. There's another part of the map which we played with a little bit last week in class, and I had a lot of fun with you guys that came. The compass. The compass rose shows the directions on a map: north, east, south, and west. Now remember what Miss Gina taught you earlier this year. Never eat soggy waffles. North, east, south, and west. Now, if you're going like from the center of your map out this way, some friends, and a lot of you caught on to this last week in class, you could say you were going northeast because you're in the middle of north and east, so you would be traveling northeast. This would be southeast because you're between south and east. Guess what this would be? I'm going to give you until 3. 1, 2, 3. What would it be between south and west? Of course, it would be southwest. And then if we go way up here this way on our map, that would be northwest. Some of our western states are states like Oregon and Washington State. Those are way up northwest. Now, we are considered down here in the southeast of the United States. That's where we live, in the southeastern part. All right, we're going to keep going. There's also a scale on a map a lot of times. Now, if you look at this, the scale helps you measure the distance between two places. When you know the distance, you can calculate how long the trip will take. For example, this was a trip that Miss Gina went on 2 years ago, and I was in Los Angeles, and I wanted to know how far it took me from Geneva Avenue all the way down to Carlsbad. So I knew that this distance right here, which is about the width of maybe your fingertip, maybe a little bit longer than that, I knew that that was 25 miles. So when I counted it, laid it up here, I had 125 there, 25, 25, and 25. And I counted those like quarters, and that helped me. 25, 50, 75, 100. I knew that there was 100 miles between Genesee Avenue and Carlsbad. That is called a map scale, and it can be very, very useful. Now, let's take a look at a few of these questions, and we're going to do some breakout rooms when you come to class, so I really want you to pay attention to what Miss Gina is talking about in the flip, because we're going to go into groups, and then we're going to come back and work on what we did. All right, look at this page. What is the capital of Tennessee? And Miss Gina gave you a hint right down here. Look for the star. This is a map of the state of Tennessee, and we're looking for a star, because the symbol on this map for the capital is a star. Would you choose A, B, C, or D for the capital of Tennessee? Yes, you would. Very good. If you had to pause the recording, pause it and choose, and then start the recording again and see if you got it right. It is Nashville, because there is Nashville and there is the star. Excellent work. Now we're going to look at another kind of map. This is a street map. Which is north of the school? Now, you're looking for the school. Here's the compass rose. That's the first thing you need. North, south, west, and east, or northeast, south, and west, like Miss Gina likes to say it. Never eat soggy waffles. You're going to look at that. Then you're going to look at the school. Here's the school. And look for north and see what would be north of the school. So, I'm going to give you just a second to choose your answer, what it would be. You don't have to poll. Just say it out loud. Pause the recording if you need to. Would it be the library, the park, City Hall, or the post office? You are absolutely right. Miss Gina even put a pointer on it. North of the school is City Hall. Now, if we said west of the school, we have two things, don't we? We could say park, and what else could we say? Excellent, you're right. We could say library. Now, who wants to get really fancy and tell me what would be northwest of the school? Now, remember, northwest is between north and west. So we would kind of go this way, and there's the school. And if we went that way, yes, you guys are so smart. It would obviously be the post office. All right, let's look at another one. Which symbol stands for a country's capital? Oh my goodness, this is something that you may not know, but I'm going to teach you this one today. This is for a state's capital, the star. So that's the clue I'm going to give you, the capital of a state. For example, the capital of New Orleans, silly goose, the capital of Louisiana is Baton Rouge. Now, so it would have a star. The capital of the country, our nation, is Washington, D.C. It would actually have this star with the circle around it, because it is even more important than a state capital. It is our nation's capital. So the correct answer there would be B. Phenomenal. You guys are so smart. And these down here would probably just be symbols. Usually this is a symbol for a hospital, and this can be a symbol for a park or something like that. We'd have to go back into our map legend and take a look and see what it was. All right, look at this one, last one before you come to class. This is the average annual precipitation. And precipitation is a big fancy word for rain. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of that lately, and we need some. But this map shows how much rain falls per year in the state of Kansas. Which city gets under 20 inches of rain per year? Now, again, we have to look up here at our map key. Under 20 would be orange. So we're looking for a city. Yellow would be 20 to 28 inches, and above 28 would be purple. So we're looking for this orange area, and we're looking for a city that would be in that orange area. So pause the recording, look for the name of that city, see which one it would be. Very good. You are absolutely right. Goodland, which is up here in orange, gets under 20 inches of rain per year. Excellent. Now, if I had to write a sentence about this map, I could say that Goodland gets less than any other state shown on the map. I could also say that Topeka gets the most rain of all in the state of Kansas. And I could say that Salina and Wichita both get 20 to 28 inches of rain per year. Excellent. Okay, Doodlebugs, when we come to class, we're going to do this activity together in a group tomorrow. I hope that you will come. I'm going to put you in groups of 2. I think you work better in groups of 2. We're going to answer these 5 quick questions. We're going to come back. We're going to review this together, and we're going to talk about veterans a little bit because it is Veterans Day. Now, I look forward to seeing you. Don't forget, be ready to come to class and tell me when you would need a map, and watch this quick clip so that you can be ready for class tomorrow. I love you, and I will see you then.